Hey there. I want to do a little short documentary for a guitar build that I'm planning on doing here. I wonder if if you could make a Squire play like an American Elite Telecaster. So anyway, I've been watching Craigslist and such for quite a while, and I actually came across this little jewel here. And it's I don't know, the red glitter kind of caught me. It's practically brand new shape. The gentleman just had bought this, and I've been looking at these, and they're definitely an economy guitar. They're made in Indonesia, designed and backed by Fender Squire. They have pretty basic electronics, basic everything. But I got to looking at the guitar, and it's actually a pretty solid guitar. The neck has got a good feel to it. I kind of like the shape of it. It's got the rosewood fretboard, which is what I like. The frets are like sandpaper. Oh, they're horrible. They tell you they don't waste any money or any time polishing the frets or doing any refinement. And the tuners, I don't know if you can see those, are they're just a really cheap tuner. So I've been playing it a little bit, and it plays like a $250 guitar. I managed to get it for substantially cheaper than this off of Craigslist. But anyway, I got to thinking, I wonder if I could take this and build the components and do what was necessary to actually make it into the same thing that is, say, an American Elite guitar, which is selling for, gosh, upwards of almost $2,000. And I bought some stuff off of eBay, kind of rounded some stuff up. So I thought I'd go through and show you what I got. So the first thing I got is, so you can see those, Fender locking tuners. I was able to find online some Gen 4 noiseless pickups, Evo fret wire. I had to build a little fret wire bender so that I could bend them and get the radius that I need. But this is the Evo. It's a copper alloy instead of nickel. It's not as hard as stainless steel frets, but it's harder than nickel. So they last. They are so slick and feel so good. So those should make some fantastic frets on this guitar. Also, I bought a zero glide nut. Means it changes it from a regular nut to a zero nut, which is basically a metal fret in the place of where you would have your nut. I got the Oak Grigsby 4-way switch. So I was able to get I got another white pick guard, but this is a 3-layer, and I don't know if you can see it, it's got the black in the center layer, so it's white, black, white. That should make a great, nice pickup, pick guard. I got another thing, locking strap locks. These are shallers. These were from another build. I had an extra set left over. I have not tried one of these, but it's a slanted. I don't know if you can see that right there, but the switch plate has got a slant in it, and this is supposed to help with being able to switch this and having this volume knob in the way. So I'm going to try this. I got that from StewMac. I got Dunlop sealed volume and tone pots. Also got the orange drop capacitor for that. And last but not least, Elixir strings. I tell you, I sound like an advertisement for these folks, but I love these strings. I'm going to stick with this bridge for now. It looks like it should be really serviceable, like it should be easily to set up. I may change the saddle pieces later on to some nice brass saddle pieces, but for now these should be more than sufficient. All of my other guitars that I really like, I've finished with a True Oil gun oil, and I may put some light True Oil finish on this because I really like that feeling. Guitar, if I can make a couple $100 guitar by doing some really good quality upgrades and make it play like a $1,000 guitar, I think that would be a win-win, and that'll make a great practice guitar for me down here in the office. Anyway, that's what we got. Should be a fun build. I'll try to document some different things as we go about building this. I guess my first step is cut the strings off of this thing, separate the neck from the body, and get to building. All right, here we go. Got the neck off. And it says, I'm going to spin this around here, Squire Telecaster by Fender. I don't like the finish on this neck. It feels like it's waxed, like it's brie-waxed or something. The other thing I'm going to do is pull out this nut right here, which is plastic, and I'm going to put a zero glide nut in, which will end up putting, it'll still have this in here, but it'll actually have a wire right along the front of it that's just like these frets. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is probably lift all of these frets out of here, and whoever finished these at the factory, they're rougher than a cob. It's like they didn't even bother to sand or polish these frets. It's like they just roughly filed them down and leveled them, and then looks like my first road bump is going to have to be, we're going to have to, probably going to have to fill those holes. But Fender made tuners that had little pins, so I thought, hey, this is already drilled to fit these tuners. They're just a better quality tuner. Let me hold that one up here. Alright, so that should fit, right? Not too fast there, buckwheat. The holes don't line up. I am taking bamboo skewers. They were too big for these holes, but I took my pocket knife and whittled them down so that they were just small enough to fit in the hole. That's what I've been doing, as I put a tiny little drop of super glue in. Set that in so it's all the way down. Flip that off. Wipe off extra super glue. Then I'll go back and sand all these down so they're flush, and then I can make new holes. I got all the holes filled, sanded level. Managed to do that without sanding off that. I have the handy dandy tool. It has all the different size holes, and you unbolt this, and then it fits down in place of this hole, and then you can see this, no matter, depending on which one you do, you can put this down in there and drill the holes. That fits down in the hole, and that'll get locked in. And then this tuner, we can find out by setting it down in here which holes, if you can see that, it's the outer two holes in my guide. So all right, fits. Got all the new holes put in. So next up, I'll make sure and just do a quick fit on all the tuners, make sure they fit on, then I can take them back off. We'll get this thing true oiled. It's just sanded lightly on the neck, and whatever that is coming off. It's weird, it's like a wax material. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, maybe get some acetone or something and see if I can wipe this down. Actually though, that's starting to get pretty good. But I decided, well, I should get it ready to true oil. And I thought, well, if I'm gonna do that, I might as well, I had my brother here, so I even got that all sanded, so I should be able to true oil right over that. But I pulled all the frets. There's the frets that were in the nickel. But and I'm going to be putting in the gold Evo fret wire. But I thought what I'll do is put at least 2 or 3 or 5 or so coats of true oil on first, so that it'll start kind of get it sealed off. All right. Well, I've got I got 2 coats is all of true oil on here. You can see how good it's looking. It's looking really good. For even just 2 coats of true oil. Alright, well, I've got about, I don't know, 5 coats of true oil on this. Well, I'll go ahead and get these frets put in now. So what I did was I actually, with my triangle file, just slightly beveled these, and then I took my nut files, the one that was the correct width for the hole, and just kind of lightly cleaned up the slots, so they're all cleaned up really good, and I've sanded the fretboard so it's nice and ready to go. So now I'm just fitting some frets. So what I'm doing, I've made my fret tang nipper here, and so I'm going to cut out a fret. I'll show you the way I like to do it. Usually I press these in with my fret press tool that has the correct radius on it, but actually this is working really good with just a brass hammer, and they're seating excellent, and I'm super gluing all of these frets in. So anyway, what I do is I just like to make a little mark about where it needs to be cut off. Take my side cutters, cut it off. So now I've got the correct piece. Then I take my nippers, and I just need to nip just the edge of these. Just like that. And actually I've got these nippers made pretty well, so they make a nice clean little edge on that. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Anyway, I just make sure that, yep, everything's ready to go. Take my super glue. I have a real fine tip on this thing, and I just lightly put it right down the edge of this. That. And this put in, and I like to hammer them on the outside and get the outside seated first, and then just work my way down. Then if I really want to, I can put this on the top, since this is correct radius. Just kind of tap it. And I know some of you guitar luthiers are probably cringing, but they are all seated really well. And so I still have one fret to go. I was able to find one more piece of fret wire that was the right size, but I'm gonna have to order more. But anyway, I got these all clipped off, and now I'm starting to file them down. I have a fret bevel file, and what I did was I took a piece of wood and cut it at the right angle so that I could attach this is the part that goes along the frets, along the top of the frets, and then this file, it puts it at the right angle so that it'll actually bevel the frets and not cut into the wood. So I do it kind of like this. Just run this flat along that surface. Let's see if you can see that. And then I just file this up and down. Usually I turn it around this way, and then I can kind of see the frets as I'm filing them, and see how close I'm getting to the right bevel. Hopefully you can see how that comes out, and it's all at the correct angle now. Then so I get that, then I can actually, flatten, get my straighten the truss rod, get this perfectly flat, and get my leveler and actually level the frets, and then dress them, crown them, and then do all the finish work on these edges so that they're not sharp, and I make them. But as for now, that's all. Now once I get that, now I can finish steel wooling this. I'll steel wool it down. Then I can re-hit it with some True Oil with some super thin coats, and this will start glossing up even more. Well, it's been I think about a week since I started this project. Haven't done many updates, but I've put I finally got all the frets in, so we're all fretted. I actually already did all the leveling and dressing, so all the frets are leveled, crowned, and done. I've got about probably 10 or 12 coats of True Oil on the neck. It came out pretty well. I'm real happy with it. Should make just a fine playing guitar. And I just put the Fender locking tuners on. I should call it the Sleeper Squire, because it's going to be quite the guitar, I'm hoping, when we're done. But we'll see. So I went from the cap through that to there, and then to ground. I've got the center goes to my output. This is actually a piece of paper clip, this one that's in black. That's a piece of paper clip, so it's a hard solid wire, and it kind of keeps those two pots from wanting to spin at all. It keeps them kind of locked together a little bit. So to the output jack, and I actually got that really tight, and I didn't Loctite it, but I used fingernail polish. So usually fingernail polish works pretty good for holding the stuff from wanting to back off. So we'll see. Now my next step is I'm going to pull this bridge. I mean, pull this pickup off the bridge. Get this pickup, the noiseless Fender pickup, installed, and then get the wire pulled so that I can get it soldered into the plate. And we'll get that, and then from there I'll get over to the neck pickup, and we'll get that one wired in, and hopefully we can get this thing installed and playing. Don't know why that's thin. Huh. I couldn't get this four-way switch to work right, and I don't know whether it was because of these noiseless pickups and the fact that they already have a 3 wires and they're differently. I don't know whether I messed something up, but I just got tired of dealing with it. I kind of just gave up. I'm like, you know, these are already basically a humbucker pickup anyway, so I got a 3-way, like a normal Tele. See if I can. So there's the back, there's the middle, there's that. These seem like they volume tone looks good. Fret height looks just about right. Feels really good. I didn't get an actual millimeter measurement on that. Why isn't that focusing? Anyway, I kind of just go by what I like for feel. But I got no rattles, and it's really easy to finger this setup where I hold that, measure that, is just really right. It's just paper thin. So the nut height is just about right. So all that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go through and try to get intonation really close, and I may actually use this in worship tomorrow if I can get it done. So I got it done. Got the intonation pretty close. And so I was just kind of there's a this is just a little Vox practice amp that I have. It's just a little battery powered thing that, but yeah. try it tomorrow. Seems like it's staying in tune well. What can I say? It's got locking tuners. It's got Elixir strings, which I know some of you may hate it. I love them. I don't play any other string. Sorry. The fret, the neck with the True Oil came out excellent for me. I love the feel, love everything about that. The Evo frets came out great. Three-way switch is going to work just fine. Volume sweeps nice and smoothly. Tone has got a ton of everything, so super bright to totally muted and muffled, and everything in between. It's just a nice solid guitar. I think it's and who could go wrong with glittery red? It's kind of like a bass boat or something. I don't know. Yeah, I like it. All right, I'm out.